Bright Memory Infinite is a short and sweet experience. It takes roughly 2 hours to get through the main storyline and about 6 to arrive at 100% completion. Still, its beautiful graphics and the interplay between shooting and melee combat make for a fun experience that perfectly shows what the Switch is capable of when enough care and attention is dedicated to porting a game to the platform. Bright Memory Infinite is a short and sweet experience. It takes roughly 2 hours to get through the main storyline and about 6 to arrive at 100% completion. Still, its beautiful graphics and the interplay between shooting and melee combat make for a fun experience that perfectly shows what the Switch is capable of when enough care and attention is dedicated to porting a game to the platform. The Wolfenstein series is one of the most important franchises in video game history. 1991's Wolfenstein 3D is widely recognized as the first ever modern first-person shooter. For years, the series was overshadowed by ID Software's other titles, like Doom or Quake, but the recent Wolfenstein games have enjoyed a fair share of popularity as well-polished, story-focused shooters. Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus was a title that saw a port over to the Nintendo Switch about a year after its initial release. The story follows protagonist William Joseph Blazkowicz through a Nazi-controlled America as he searches for resistance leaders to assist him in the fight. The story was popular enough to garner enough love for a co-op sequel to be made featuring BJ's twin daughters, Jessie and Zofia. New Colossus didn't receive the greatest praise when it was put on Switch, but we can all agree that it's still an incredible story. The Crysis Remastered Trilogy is a faithful upgrade of the 3 games in the franchise, all of which pushed FPS gameplay forward, especially in the realm of graphics. You'll play as a super soldier dispatched to an island for a mission. Then, everything goes wrong when you're asked to stop a sudden alien invasion. Your superpowered suit will help you even the odds against the foes as you upgrade it to fit your style of play. With 3 different stories and a lot of armor upgrades, across the trilogy you're going to have a lot to do and a lot to kill. Considered by many to be the most impressive port on the Nintendo Switch, Doom Eternal serves as an example of just how much can be done on a system with such limited hardware capabilities. The game runs at a steady 30 frames per second throughout the entire campaign and doesn't limit the experience in any way compared to the PC and console releases, aside from the downscaled graphics. The Switch version of Doom Eternal also includes the gyroscopic control option for aiming, which is certainly a welcome addition for all those preferring to play in handheld mode. Gameplay-wise, it's classic Doom action, fast-paced encounters with dozens of monsters rushing at the player from all sides, tons of gore, and a heavy metal soundtrack to boot. Turok 2: Seeds of Evil picks up right after the events of the first game when Turok tries to destroy the Chronoceptor. But even though he threw it into a volcano, all that happened was a new threat being unleashed. Now, Turok must face off against the Primogen and defeat all manner of man and beasts. All to reach the mother of all beasts and stop this madness once and for all. The classic game has been brought to the Switch, and you'd be foolish to not try out the title. The days of the Western may be gone in the minds of movie makers, but video games are more than willing to pick up the slack. Call of Juarez Gunslinger is a great example of a Western video game, showcasing all that made the genre and the period so special. You'll play as a bounty hunter tasked with taking down some of the most infamous outlaws in all of the Wild West. You'll have to be both quick on the draw and accurate in your shot to survive the gun battles to come. There are plenty of gunfights to be had in Call of Juarez Gunslinger, and you'll get to choose what kind of gunslinger you want to be in terms of skill set. So load up that pistol and saddle up, those bounties won't get themselves.
Get out here! Put down your weapon! Right here! Ah!
A free-to-play title, Paladins Champions of the Realm, is easy to pick up and play. Similar in feel to Overwatch, this title from Hi-Rez Studios brings the cross-platform hero shooter to the handheld platform without any graphical sacrifices. While there is a learning curve for more serious gamers, those with a casual interest in a fun fantasy FPS won't regret grabbing this from the Switch eShop.
This is nothing.
When heaven is in trouble and can't take care of the dangers within, they have to call upon those of a dangerous nature to help them out. Neon White provides players with a unique gameplay experience as they try to defeat evil and earn a better place in the afterlife. The unique element of the game is the card-based gameplay. You can keep the cards you receive as you bound through levels and get weapons, or you can discard them and use abilities to traverse through the danger. Learn more about yourself and your partners in crime to unravel a deeper story than you expect. This rendition of Doom brings back the mayhem and destruction from the original in a remade version for modern consoles. You'll be met with incredible demons, intense weapons, and fast combat that will surely keep you coming back for more. The Nintendo Switch version was introduced a year later and still manages to hold on to all of these same features in a compact console. Players can enjoy the hellish single-player campaign, as well as numerous multiplayer modes that you can play with up to 12 of your friends online. With the sequel having been released not too long ago, now would be a great time to get into the handheld version of Dying Light. Utilize your parkour and crafting skills in-game to maneuver through a world full of infected zombies. The Switch version also comes with all available DLC, including the critically acclaimed The Following. The port does a great job at staying true to the original in both graphics and gameplay, so you'll definitely want to be sure to pick this one up. Apex Legends is one of the titles that, if you love the genre, you'll probably end up playing for a very long time. It is pretty similar to Fortnite, but from a first-person perspective. It's intense fun and highly competitive. The console makes it even more enjoyable, and the first-person point of view only adds to the intensity. It's by far one of the best free Switch games you could get your hands on.
We're in the rain, which means they're going to ours.
Tangle near me. Contact.
Someone's gonna death wish. Started to skin suit.
There goes the last one in this. Nope, you're not dying.
Next turn, get me the kill.
Overwatch 2 feels like a few updates that Blizzard may have rolled over to the original version. Combine this with the increased focus on monetization and the absence of the promised co-launch story content, and you're left with an experience that feels like it's lagging behind its full potential. As a free-to-play live service game, perhaps time will eventually see it grow in fresh and unexpected ways, eventually proving itself to be a worthwhile sequel. In any case, it won't cost anything but your time to try, and it's just as fun as ever in a match.
Impersonate somebody else. Come get healed.
Moscow has been turned into a poisonous wasteland, and the survivors are forced to live their lives underground, deep in the tunnels of forgotten metro stations. The story is based on a novel of the same name where you play as Artyom, who has never ventured outside of the underground before, but must do so once the fate of mankind is left in his hands. Ammunition is scarce, and you need to rely on the light of your flashlight to ensure that you can get to your destination safely. You can also get 2 for the price of 1 since this game comes packaged with Metro Last Light Redux when purchased physically.
We gotta make them pay! Ammo! Casualties are mounting!
That's some fine wasteland. You guys sure did a good job here.
Last Light follows the story of Artyom from the previous installment, Metro 2033. A year later, Artyom's missile strike against the Dark Ones has already occurred. There are 2 different playstyles, Spartan and Survival, that give the game a survival horror approach, or a combat skill approach respectively. The game was co-written by the author of the original books and follows the tone of his vision. You can also get the previous installment of the Metro series with this game if you purchase it physically.
Watch out. Look, there's more in the reeds.
When Borderlands 2 arrived on the Switch, it was packaged as a Legendary Collection and also included Borderlands and Borderlands the pre-sequel. Despite being over a decade old, the second entry to the series deserves a spot on this list. You'll be able to enjoy the game either by yourself or with a friend using local 2-player split-screen or 4-player online play. It also comes packed with all available DLC for you to enjoy.
$1,000,000! Alright, boys, this is Captain Flint. I want you to find that Vault Hunter and bring him to me now!
Dusk is a retro-styled first-person shooter developed completely by a single person. You'd think that you were playing a PlayStation 1 title in the best way possible while stepping into this unique game. Players are taken to the fictitious town of Dusk, Pennsylvania, where they encounter several Lovecraftian horrors and demonic possessions. The gameplay is meant to emulate the visual and gameplay style of early first-person shooters and puts a greater emphasis on movement and speed. If you're a fan of games like the original Doom and Quake, you'll have a blast.
Heretic.
Superhot takes advantage of its minimalistic style to provide quick and addictive gameplay. Your objective is to take out hostile attackers using weapons that break very easily. Considering this, you'll need to defeat your enemies and rely on them for more ammunition and weaponry. It's also important to note that time only moves when you do. Take advantage of 31 levels and defeat your enemies in unique ways with a variety of different weapons, from billiard balls to simple fists.
Super hot. Super hot. Superhot. Superhot.